beautiful people. How are you? I hope you are doing good. I am actually going to share a little bit about myself right now. The thing that I figured that I would talk about first is the thing that I've been dealing with the most right now, and that would be my issues with bipolar. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it overlaps very much with borderline personality disorder. And I don't know if I talked about that before, but sometimes I have trouble differentiating between the two when I'm going through that. So I really have to look at it and figure out in myself when I'm going through like mania or depression, or I'm having like overthinking issues or intrusive thoughts. Like, is this something that I'm creating for myself, or is it something that is caused by just day-to-day issues, or is this a chemical imbalance? You know, is it something that my meds are not, helping me with that they should? So lately, I've been on these new meds because the last few months, I actually had some issues with mania. And I don't know if you guys truly understand what that is. I'm honestly still trying to figure out exactly what it is, because it can be different for everyone. But mania for me is just a rush of thoughts all at once where I can't really hold on to them. I just have like a lot of thoughts and feelings going on, and I am trying to express those, but I'm also, just kind of like, I just can't stop, talking about like what I'm thinking, and I don't really listen to people as much. My concentration is terrible. I'm sorry. I am focusing on what I'm thinking about and not on what you're saying, and that's messed up, but it's not completely my fault. So, and then also, I get some very not so great urges. I'm just so in my creative process that I am just like, oh, I don't have time to eat. Like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do this, and so basically I didn't even realize I was in a manic state until I had not taken a break for like 4 days from just going through all the stuff in my house and seeing like what needed to be thrown away and what needed to be kept and organized, and just wanting to throw everything out and get it done. And I wasn't eating and I wasn't sleeping. And then I was also like really into my channel, and I was like, oh, I gotta stream, I gotta do this. And I was only sleeping like 3 to 4 hours a night. And I was also working at the time. And then when I got off work for summer break, I just was go. When I worked on my Britney Spears video, I Wanna Go, that was just 10 straight hours of me like doing the actual takes doesn't take that long. Just doing it over and over again maybe takes like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but the actual editing, like, creative process takes so long. I need to focus on this, and I need to go through it over and over again, watch it a million times, make sure it's as good as I can make it. But also at that time, I think this is it's probably not funny to other people, but it's funny to me because I go back and forth between thinking I'm the shit. I'm disgusting, don't look at me, don't talk to me. When I'm in a manic state, I'm like, oh, everything I touch is gold. Yeah, I am amazing, and I'm so good at everything, and everybody wants me. Yeah, it's not healthy, probably. It's kind of like narcissistic, but I think it's funny because those are really the only times that I feel that great about myself. But the downside to these things is that you have this inflated sense of yourself. Oh my god, my cats are freaking out. Guys, come on. Why do you always do this when I'm trying to make a video? Mimi, leave Chum Chum alone. He obviously doesn't want you to do that. Oh my god. Mimi is always like getting in Chum Chum's face, like he's not attacking him. But Mimi's not a social cat. He's like, just let me do my thing. Don't try to pay attention to me. Like, just let me sleep and leave me alone. And Mimi's always like, love me, pay attention to me, I want you, blah, blah, blah. Just like, ugh. And then Chum Chum's like the loudest freaking cat. But anyways, what I was saying was, so that happens. But the part I really don't like about mania is that it sits right here on your chest. Oh my god, these animals, you guys. You guys need to tell me not to get any more freaking animals, because look at me. I'm trying to make a video right now and they're going freaking bananas. How am I supposed to live like this? Okay, so it sits here like on my chest, and it can feel a lot like anxiety, but it really just feels like this ball of unused energy, and it just keeps like festering, and it's just so uncomfortable. Like I can't sit still, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need to do something. Like, what am I gonna do? I need to focus on something because this feels so uncomfortable. And I was talking to Barbara because she like has issues with it too sometimes, because she has bipolar, but hers is bipolar 1, mine is bipolar 2. So I have hypomania, which is not as intense as just like mania. Mania is like where you can actually have hallucinations and stuff, whereas like hypomania, I don't think I hallucinate. I just have these ideas that like, and urges that are really hard for me to be like, that's not right, don't do that, that is morally wrong. It is like, oh, no, I can do that. That's fine. Oh, I don't feel anything about it, so it's perfectly fine, you know. Even though it might end up, you know, backfiring or hurting people, it's not like I mean to, but in the time that I do it, it's like I don't think about the consequences. I just act. And that's mania. That's not depression. I'll go into the depression later. Oh, this is another one. Sorry if this is weird or makes you uncomfortable, but it's also a side effect. You kind of become a sex addict, I'm not gonna lie. Everything is taken to the max. Does that make sense? Your body is just like revved up. Like it's time to go. Like you are just on top of the world, but also so overwhelmed with how you feel. Neither of them are great. Mania, when I'm in my manic state, I'm like, damn, like I wish I was depressed right now because I can't deal with this shit. Like at least I would be sleeping and eating properly, maybe, if I was like, I'm still not eating properly if I'm depressed. And there's always that, oh, I wish I was this way when you're that way, because either one is not great, but when you're in either state, you're kind of like, oh, this one's better, but it's really not. They both suck. But anyways, I haven't really been in a depressive state for a while. I was probably manic for like a couple months, but depressed state is obviously completely opposite. I'm sleeping all the time, not eating properly, very low sex drive, low everything. My will to live, very low. Energy level, very low. When I'm at work, I'm depressed, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be at home doing other things, and I'm just focusing on that. Like, I'm just so focused on not having the energy to do these things that I'm just miserable, and I'm like, I hate my life. Everything sucks. But I'm not necessarily like acting. I do act out, actually. I mean, it could be like cutting, or it could be restricting, because I'm just so tired. Like constantly, I have no energy, that I don't have the energy to binge and purge. I just don't put in energy into that. It's weird. So when I'm in a depressive state, I still push myself to exercise, because there's that part in my head that's like, I don't want to be this way. I don't want to feel this way. So maybe working out will help. But it's also like the part of myself that worries about my body, and my insecurity like kicks in too. And it's just like, no, you have to work out, Brianna. You can't slack on that. And I'm not going to go into like my struggles with my eating disorders right now. That's just where I've been at right now. I'm on something called lamotrigine, and that is a mood stabilizing drug. And actually my doctor said that I do need to go to therapy for my borderline personality disorder. But honestly, when I was in therapy, nothing was happening. And that's also why I think I also was a little depressed. So, because I didn't have energy after work, I was just like, I'm so tired. I don't have energy to talk to anyone. And it was so hard. And I kept being like, I'm sorry, I don't have the energy to talk to you right now. And everything's fine. I'm not acting out, I'm not doing anything. And then of course when they drop me, because they dropped me, which I understand because it's a free program, and they just have these people that are paid to talk to you. They're not certified therapists, they're kind of in training, but they're still good. I like the girl that I got. And so she was like, yeah, I can't work with you anymore because you keep canceling. And I was like, okay, I understand. But now shit's hitting the fan, so I'm like, oh, I need some therapy. Yeah, so I'm trying right now to figure out the difference between a full manic state and what I'm feeling right now. Because when I first got on these meds, it seemed like I was on the cusp, like constantly on the cusp of going into manic state. But I think I don't know what my body feels like when it's regulated. Because I still am taking the other meds, which is Abilify. That's also a mood stabilizer. So I'm still on that. But this added one, I think it's weird. I don't think it's supposed to give you more energy. I think it actually makes you tired, but I think it actually gives me more energy. And the other one, I didn't feel flat, but I felt mellow, and then it started not working anymore. And that's when I fell into like that manic state for like a few months. And then I called my doctor and I was like, whoa, I need help. Like, this is bad. Because I did a few unforgivable things, which I'm not going to share. I'm sorry. Maybe eventually I will be open to sharing them. But I am just really lucky to have such an amazing partner that, loves me unconditionally and understands the things I'm going through. And, that's all I'll say about it. I'm just trying to accept where I am right now and just be like, okay, this gives you energy. You're not falling asleep at work. You're going to the gym, you're doing other things. I don't need a nap as much. I'm realizing that this is better than what it was. I'm not depressed. Although my sex drive is really bad right now, and I wonder if that's because of the meds. But honestly, I would take being healthy over sex any day. So.
What is the matter with you?
That might not be everyone's opinion, but I'll give anything to just be normal. So I am going to talk to my doctor about that, but right now I'm just going through life and I'm just trying to do the best I can. And I mean, some things take just therapy. Like even with bipolar disorder 2, which I have, therapy is still recommended to help you deal with the things that may come up or that you may do. But I just need therapy in general because I had a breakthrough the other day and that was pretty cool. I was watching these videos on hypomania and hypermania, and then also the difference between bipolar and borderline personality disorder, and that really helped me to see like, oh, this isn't my this isn't my bipolar, this is my borderline coming up, because I realized that I was acting out and I was becoming very cold and distant from Kyle because I felt abandoned by him. And I realized this isn't depression. This is me putting a wall up because I feel like he is leaving me. And like he, is abandoning me. And you might think this is for a silly reason, but people with borderline are very sensitive to abandonment. I remember when my best friend moved to a different country and I felt abandoned by her. It's like, it's not about me. It's not, personal. She's doing it for herself. She's doing it because, it's something she needs. But I took it very personally. And, realistically, I knew it wasn't something personal, but I still cried. I still was like, I feel like you're abandoning me. And, another friend recently left without really explaining anything. And I think when I reached out to her and was like, this really hurt me, I was taking it a little personally, but that was for different reasons. That was because I felt kind of betrayed by not knowing any information, and they were just like, bye. And I was like, okay, well, now you're gone. So no explanation. And then they were like, but we're still friends. And I'm like, what? But we worked it out. So that's good. But anyways, very sensitive to abandonment, or it could be feelings of abandonment, or like like, even if it's not abandonment, you can, like, you're very sensitive to the idea of it. Like, this person doesn't like me, they're leaving me. Or someone you went to a party with and they're like, oh, I'm not really feeling this, I'm gonna go. And it's like, what? Like, why are you leaving? Did I do something? Like, what's going on? Like, you immediately jumped, it's your fault, they don't like you, they're, you know. And that's something you need to work on with the therapist and really figure out what it is that's causing these feelings, and to turn that into a rational thought, a rational feeling, and like, I'm okay, I'm safe, this person is just tired and going home. Anyways, I'm getting way off topic, I'm so sorry. So I realized that I felt like I was being abandoned by Kyle because he was forced to take these shifts that are opposite mine. So I only see him for like an hour a day, maybe. And for most people, maybe that's enough to see their partner. For me, no. I need more. I love Kyle, like, to death. Like, he is my favorite person besides Bra Bra. And, you know, I love being with him. He calms me, you know, does not demand a lot from me, which is nice. But I shower him with love and affection anyway, even though he doesn't demand it. Or, like, I think he needs it, but he's not going to be like, I need you to love me, you know. Unless I'm being very cold and distant, then he's like, what's going on? You're not showering me with love and affection. And so we talked about it, and I said, I realize what I'm doing, and I'm so sorry, and I'm going to fix it. I just need to work on putting this wall down and know that I'm safe and that you're going to make time for me. And we made an agreement that when he gets home or when I get off of work, we could spend like 15 minutes together, just like sitting together or cuddling or something, just so I can feel that connection. And, you know, we worked it out, and that's good. And, you know, it was a breakthrough for me. I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't really realize those things about myself a lot of the time. Like, I need to be snapped out of, like, it was literally a week that I was treating Kyle like that, and he, like, almost broke down and cried because he's like, this is just so painful to me, you're just not paying attention to me, not caring. And I was like, this is just how my life is, where I feel like I don't have you, and I just have to accept that I don't have you. And it's kind of very black and white. And that's another thing about borderline, is it's very black and white. Like, you're either hot and cold. There's no middle ground. You have to work on that. Therapy is key, and it's called DBT, dialectical behavior therapy. I've covered that in another video. And honestly, that day I was like, even though I feel like I need to push you away, I'm going to hold on to you, I'm going to love you, I'm going to cuddle with you until I feel connected with you. And even if you feel like I'm just doing it to do it, I am really trying. I cried while watching that video because I was like, oh my god, this is what I'm doing, and I'm hurting Kyle, and this really makes me upset. And that kind of, you know, broke my wall down. And I'm like, I love you so much, I don't want you to feel this way. And so, you know, that was like a really, really interesting thing. I don't even know if anyone's watching anymore, but I appreciate it if you are, because this is a piece of my life and a piece of, you know, my, kind of like a piece of my heart. I should feel empowered by sharing this, because a lot of people go through this and stay silent because they feel ashamed. And a lot of the time I do feel ashamed, I'm not gonna lie, or embarrassed telling my new friends that I have this, because a lot of people have misinformation, especially with borderline. People think you're psychotic, they think you're narcissistic, they think you're manipulative, and I've seen and heard people say that they're evil. And then I tell them, I'm like, wait, you're not like that. And I'm like, yeah, we're not all like that. And people might identify as borderline but also like have something else. You never know. And it's just not fair to label everyone that you encounter as that way. And yes, we can be manipulating, but it's to counteract those feelings of abandonment and hurt and fear. You know, I'm not saying it's right, but a lot of that manipulation is not, you know, evil. There's like a reason behind it. And I don't know I can't really give you an example of manipulation right now, but we don't even see it. That's the problem. It's like, we don't see that we're manipulating your feelings, so it's not conscious. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna do this so that they'll love me, blah blah blah. Like, Kyle felt very manipulated when he would do something that hurts me, and I would just break down and cry, and I would sob. I would be like, full on sobbing, because it was so scary to me to feel like he was going to leave me. And it's that idea, that feeling, that deep down fear that, oh, this person doesn't love me, this person's gonna leave me. Even if he didn't say, I'm going to leave you, it's like the fights that we had, it's like, oh no, I'm gonna lose him, like, this is terrifying to me. And it was just a normal fight, and we needed space, and he needed space, and I was just like, don't leave me, don't leave me. If you're away from me, that means that you're going to, abandon me. And it was very hard to give him space, but it's gotten much better. We've been together 6 years, going strong. But anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon. I don't know when you're watching this. I'm not psychic. But I hope you have a lovely day.